Amir Khan is finally making his return to the ring, except there are many changes in his camp. Firstly, he fired Freddie Roach, who he has worked with since 2008, since that loss to Breedis Prescott. Now he's working with Virgil Hunter, who is the 2011 reigning trainer of the year. He trains Andre Ward, who many are considering, I believe boxing.com is as well, the best pound-for-pound fighter in boxing. It's very interesting, his road that his career has taken, you could say, because he had the loss to Prescott. He comes back with Freddie Roach, dominating, loses in Lamont Peterson's backyard. The rematch is set up. Peterson then tests positive and even admits that he received pellets of testosterone inserted into him. So that's pretty bizarre. So that fight is off. Insert Danny Garcia. He gets knocked down 3 times, gets knocked out by Garcia. So now Danny Garcia is this world-renowned fighter. You could credit a lot of it on his boxing skill and his loudmouth dad, who we of course love, boxing needs. And now he is finally back fighting with Virgil Hunter. They have said that they've emphasized defense a great ton. Is that the main area of concern for Amir Khan?
It is. His record speaks for itself. I mean, Khan is a fighter. He goes out to fight, and it's why I'm a big supporter of Amir Khan. I mean, there's nothing fancy about him. He comes to fight. He gets hurt, he gets up, he continues to fight. He doesn't hold, he doesn't run. He is a fighter, and a good fighter at that. But, of course, he does get knocked down. He does get knocked out. He does lose. Defense is not his strong point. So to be with somebody like Virgil Hunter, who has done such a brilliant job with Andre Ward, can only benefit Amir Khan.
Talk a little more about Virgil Hunter, Robert. I mean, what are your expectations for Amir Khan? You know, this is their first fight together, but what can you expect?
Well, it's hard to, one can't really teach an old dog new tricks. Khan is who Khan is. There's no telling how he'll react, you know, once the bullets start flying. But again, a round lasts only 3 minutes. There's that 1 minute rest period, and during that rest period, he will have Virgil Hunter in there. And Hunter, as you know, has I mean, what he's done with Andre Ward, who came to him as a little boy, it's extraordinary. I mean, he created a masterpiece. Really, I mean, there aren't superlatives enough for me to describe Andre Ward. So, for Khan to be working with Andre Ward's mentor is major, major, and whether or not some of that wisdom is going to rub off on Khan, I mean, it seems inevitable. And I look forward to seeing how Khan contends with Carlos Molina Saturday night.
Let's talk about Molina for a little bit. He's 17-0-1, just 7 knockouts, so he is not totally known for his power, but he has hyped up the gate, as many would say. Here's what he said: "This is going to be my night. We're in my town. This is my hood. I'm going to make this a street fight. He can't come into my hood and beat me." However, Molina, it appears, has never really fought outside the top 10. He's fought some really good opponents, but many are saying that he hasn't fought outside the top 10. That's been the Molina haters' argument. Is this by far the best fight that he has had? And, I mean, how can he attack Amir Khan?
Well, if one looks at Molina's record, I mean, Molina has been on the bad end of several questionable decisions. He has a draw with Chavez Jr. He has a draw with Erislandy Lara. He has that DQ loss against James Kirkland, all of which were very questionable verdicts. Molina is a serious fighter, and I think it may be his time, and he may have met Amir Khan, or will be meeting Amir Khan at the perfect time.
Sure.
Molina has a lot to prove, as does Khan, but again, it may be Molina's time.
He's moving up in weight from lightweight to junior welterweight, which is only a difference of 5 pounds. To many of us, it seems minute, but how big of a jump is this for Carlos Molina?
It's not necessarily that big of a jump. I mean, one has to assume that his walking around weight is several pounds above the stipulated weight for this fight. I don't think that weight difference is going to make that much of a difference, especially he's not a power puncher. That's not what he relies on. He relies on resilience, angles, frustrating his opponents. He does an excellent job in the ring. As you remember when he fought James Kirkland, he's a good fighter. He's a serious fighter. Yeah. That he doesn't have a lot of knockouts could be a knock on him and on his record, but that's nothing that one can't create power if one doesn't have power, but there are ways to compensate for that by using skill, by frustrating one's opponent, and Molina is excellent at that.
So do you think that he is just going to try and outbox and outclass Amir Khan? I mean, it seems like, you know, we have the boxer-puncher in Khan and we have the pure boxer in Molina. So, I mean, how exactly will these styles mesh together?
Well, I think Khan is going to come to fight. He's going to sort of have this new improved defense. That remains to be seen how new and improved it is, but that's certainly what he's been concentrating on. But he is going to try to take Molina out of there, because that is what Khan does. He comes to fight. And again, he's meeting somebody who's not going to necessarily come to fight him. He's going to come and try to frustrate him. Khan is emotional. Khan frequently lets his emotions get the best of him. And I'm sure that his trainer is going to try to keep that in check, but I'm sure at the same time that Molina is going to try to exploit that and get Khan off of his game plan.
Here's the one thing that I am going to be looking for in Amir Khan. You know, you said that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. He has a new trainer, different face. He's only 26 years old. He's still so young at 26-3 with 18 knockouts, is Amir Khan. But one thing that I'm going to really look into with this fight is how not only does he take direction, but does he act on it? Because I think that's the most important thing. When he starts getting hit with a few punches here and there and a few combinations, and maybe he gets outboxed for a few rounds, it's going to be interesting to see if he takes that advice and he acts on it, or if he goes back to his old tricks and his old fighting style. That's one thing that I'm really looking forward to.
No, I think it's a good point. It's something I'm looking forward to as well. But again, one of the great advantages of boxing is that you have a 3-minute round and you have a 1-minute rest period. And during that rest period, the wisdom that one may have lost in the ring is waiting there in the corner with a chair and with advice. Khan can listen. Khan can be educated. He has been educated. Freddie Roach did an amazing job with Khan. And I won't say it yet, and I believe that Virgil Hunter is going to improve on the job that Freddie Roach has done thus far.
You know, Robert, he has lost 3 fights, and they have been 3 very tough losses. He was nearly knocked out against Marcos Maidana. He somehow survived. Would you say that this fight is absolutely, positively do or die for Amir Khan?
It is do or die for Amir Khan in terms of being a marquee fighter, but Amir Khan will continue to fight. He is huge in England. He's a great personality. He's a hero to the Muslim community all over the world. So Khan will continue to fight. There's no question about that. It is do or die in terms of being a marquee fighter, but he is a name fighter, and he is young, as you say, and he is exciting. So Khan has a future whether he wins or even if he loses.
The LA Memorial Sports Arena on the campus of USC, University of Southern California, right here in Southern California. It makes sense. On Showtime, 10:30 Eastern is the fight, at least when it starts. Let me ask you this before we get to the undercard, Robert. Do you think that Amir Khan outlasts and could possibly knock out Carlos Molina, or do you see Molina in, you know, he said, my hood, you know, this is my place, I'm going to win this fight? Do you think Molina can pull out the upset?
I don't think Molina is going to pull out the upset. Something tells me. I think Khan is on the resurgence, and I think he's going to win this fight.
Now, we have some really interesting undercard fights. Alfredo Angulo takes on Jorge Silva, and then Deontay Wilder, 25-0, with 25 knockouts. Incredible. Against Kelvin Price, who was also undefeated. A pretty good undercard. Let me start with Alfredo Angulo with you. Do you see him beating up on Jorge Silva?
I do indeed. What else can I say? I say Angulo beating up on almost anybody he fights. He certainly didn't beat up on Kirkland, but I think Angulo was back. I think Angulo is back in a big way, and I think he's going to win in a big way Saturday night.
Just like Nonito Donaire, a very quick turnaround for Alfredo Angulo. Now, Deontay Wilder, what about him? Interesting. I mean, he is somebody who is spoken of seriously for the first time in his career. Despite his record, it's been 5 years since he won the bronze medal in the Olympics. He has that, again, that sterling undefeated record, but he has been handled very carefully. He has a lot of detractors, but he's 6'7", he's big. He was in Austria with Klitschko, training for Klitschko's last fight, Vladimir Klitschko's last fight. He is big, he's tall, he's strong, and he's got a lot of power. He only had 30 amateur fights before he won the bronze medal. So he is a work in progress, but I think he is a work in progress that's going to keep on progressing, and I think that probably in a year, maybe a year and a half, he'll crack the top 10, and sometime in the future, he will certainly be fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. Price and Wilder are both big, and they're both 6'7". Big trees are going to be in the ring on Saturday night. Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You can follow him on Twitter at boxing_com. Follow his writing at www.boxing.com. Help us out. Leave a comment in the comments section below. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video. We're previewing boxing here, people. If you love boxing, keep coming back and subscribe to TYT Sports. Robert, we will talk to you next week.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you, Rick.